Hi, Maria. Uh,
Yeah.
your voice is a little bit muffled. I don't know if it's my like headset, but
Oh, no, it might be
yeah, I
my
don't know if it's
computer. Let me do this. Let me
yeah. Normally it's clear.
right. Thank you for that, David. Um, here we go. All right. Is this better? Hopefully, my voice is better now. And welcome everybody to Monday Morning Motivation. Thank you all for making the time and for waking up and being awake at 7 a.m. on what in China today is a holiday Monday. So, and maybe also somewhere else in the world, it's Easter Monday. So, thank you for joining us on a holiday. Welcome everybody. We're super happy to be here to kick off our April webinar month. And we're super excited to have Marion with us from Shanghai.
Hello.
She's currently in Shanghai, so good morning for her. And all right. And so before we start the Marion's fantastic presentations about strength, which I'm very, very excited about, let me share a little bit more. A couple of things are coming. So first, you can see on the screen the fantastic lineup for April. Okay, we're gonna have Alicia, me and Janine, and then John. So make sure that you come to all the upcoming ones because it's gonna be very good. Um, what is that? Okay. As usual, all the Monday Morning Motivation webinars are for free, but we have people who have asked about donations. So the green flyer is for the donation. The yellow flyer is to get all the recordings in case you missed any. And as usual, in case you didn't remember, we have a fantastic book. I actually brought this to the office today. I almost forgot. Monday Morning Motivation book is available both in print copy, which is a fantastic collection of quotes, and in ebook. You know where to find it. If not, just let me know. All right. This is my official introduction done. Thank you for letting me know about my volume levels. I'll try to do my best. I think my computer is doing something weird, but it's okay because I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to give the floor to Marion, who should be able to share her screen.
Yes, give me a second.
Oh. There you go.
Bear with me, guys. I'll be ready in a minute. Can you all see my screen? Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Oh. Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
And we can see your screen.
Okay, great. Excellent. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for having me. A big thank you to Janine and Maria for having me today. And of course, a big thank you to all of you for waking up early, bright and early risers, to talk about strength today. My name is Marion, and I'll be your facilitator. What I want to start discussing with you is basically a straightforward information about the background and the philosophy of strength. This is what we're going to review today. And we're also going to review more information on the Clifton strength from Gallup. I base my data. So what we're going to review today, I base it on 8 decades, what is about 8 decades of research from Gallup. For those of you who maybe are not familiar with Gallup, it's an American polling institution in the US. They intervene when there is US elections to poll and to survey what the public opinion feels about the results of the following elections. What they also do is they focus on corporate performance. So what makes a team better at work than another team? And they also work on employee engagement a lot. So on the right-hand side, today we'll discuss about strength versus weaknesses. And on the right-hand side, so you can see I'm a Gallup strength coach. And what I do is I help people not fix them, but enhance their potential. That's quite a shift of mindset, and there is a bit of work, but we don't only talk about what is wrong or what doesn't work. We mainly talk about what is actually right and what's good and how we bring good to great. So in total, there are 34 strengths that Gallup has identified in each and everyone's profile. So each of you have 34 strengths. What changes is the order of those strengths. So for instance, here on the right-hand side, you can see this is the order that I have: achiever, relator, ideation, command, and deliberative. This is the order of my strength, and your order will be completely different. And maybe some of my strengths are not at all your strength. Maybe some of your strengths are maybe my lowest strength. So what are your strengths? This is what we're going to try and discover a little bit today. Maybe you've taken already the strength assessment, the Clifton Strength Assessment, and maybe you already know your top 5, which is great because we'll also see then why strengths are a great matter to work on. If you haven't taken the Clifton Strength, it's fine. You don't need it for this discussion. We'll just try to define what makes you truly unique. So for us to activate really our individual and our collective potential, I believe we need to create an environment that provides each of us with an opportunity to do what we do best every day. So my goal today is to bring our personal best to our work and to each other also. Strengths are not only on an individual basis, but in a group setting as well. So that's why I like that quote from Emerson, who was from the 19th century, a philosopher, an American philosopher. He says, what lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. I believe that if we focus on our strength, we'll achieve our personal best, because it doesn't matter what we have done in the past. What lies behind us doesn't really matter that much, and what lies before us, so what lies in front of us, so maybe all our goals, all our dreams, they don't matter either if we don't focus on what lies within us. So we always start with you and your strength. So today we'll have a chance to explore why using our talents to work with others and promote your direct development is the road to success. So very quickly, here is more information if the discussion we are having today sparks interest. And if you'd like to discover more about strength, you can simply add me from the MMM group if you're there. What I do is I help professionals focus on their strengths, grow their leadership skills, surround themselves with more harmonious relationships, and I help them change their careers smoothly. So now that's enough about me. This is a highly interactive session, and we're actually going to start right now. I want to know if you guys are ready. If you're ready, can you type yes in the chat? Yes. Tess. yes. Okay. Jonazo, yes. Okay, great. Awesome. So if you guys are ready, Ignatius, Grace. Okay, great. So let's start. What I want is, first I want to know your name. What name you prefer to be called. Gallup's research has shown that 3 people out of 10 are called a name that they actually don't like to be called. So maybe there is a name you prefer to be called. So what is your name? And think about a positive word that maybe your best friend or someone who knows you very well uses to describe you. For instance, for me, my name is Marion and I'm determined. Would you share in the chat with me your name and an adjective or a positive word that people use for you, so that I get to know you all a bit better? Who's going to be first? Or are you guys thinking about a positive word? It's a hard one, eh? Chris, you are generous. Okay, very good. John, you're kind. Excellent. Thank you, John. Who else? Ignatius, you are helpful. Excellent, thank you. Maria, you're focused. Okay, so we have different adjectives there already. That's kind of cool. Excellent. So when you think about these specific adjectives that you are sharing, Abdallah, you have an open mind. Thank you so much. When you think about these positive adjectives, I want you to think also about a specific moment where you could see yourself display that specific behavior. Ignatius, when was the last time you were helpful? Maria, when was the last time you were focused? Isa, you're curious. Great. When was the last time where your curiosity helped you be successful? David, you're an explorer. What was the last thing you've explored, and why was it really a contribution to your success, maybe? So this is really important. Why do I ask you about a positive word that people use for you? It's usually a very interesting point of focus to see a person through a positive word like this, because each individual describes themselves with something unique and valuable about themselves. So for me, it's a great opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate every person's individual strength. Behind all those words, there is strength, and there is very unique strength about you. Bob, you're including people. That's a great one, because that's actually one of the Clifton strength, 34 strength. So when you say those words, what I am doing is I'm listening for potential areas of strength. So maybe you're the way you're thinking about things, the way you're getting things done. Maria says she's focused. The way you're building relationship. Abdallah says he has an open mind. So these are really, really important words. Well, that's a good question. Chris is asking, is that what people think about me or what I think about myself? That's a great question. Of course, it's a bit skewed because it's you saying that about someone else saying that about you. But overall, we kind of know what people appreciate in what we contribute. What is a great exercise, and Chris, you're right, is I often ask my coachees to go and actually ask the question to get feedback. Often our first word is confirmed, and sometimes we get even other words, and that's where it's super interesting to see what people think about us. So I'm moving on from this to show you a bit more about the science around strength. What is really key to personal development is to fully understand how we can apply our strength in our everyday life. So that doesn't mean that we cannot or we don't pay attention to our lesser talents. Some people call it our weaknesses. Oops, number 6 wasn't coming up. But so that doesn't mean we don't pay attention to our weaknesses. But decades and decades of research from Gallup reveals that your best opportunity for success is to recognize and develop your dominant talents or your dominant strength. So people who focus on their strength are 3 times as likely to report having an excellent quality of life and 6 times as likely to be engaged in their jobs. Think about engagement in the US or in China, how important that would change the work environment. And when I say work environment, it's pretty much everywhere. People I'm coaching are, of course, very corporate, from C-level to mid-management or management levels. But I also coach people who are journalists, who are in kitchens, who have very different roles, even government officials. Everyone has talents, and every industry and every job has talents. So across the board, if you have the opportunity to use and develop your strength, this is more important to your success than your actual role, your actual title, or your pay. Most of the time we focus on those three things. What you should be focusing on to achieve success is to actually focus on your strength more than your role, your title, or your pay. That's what's probably gonna get you to your role, your title, your pay. But if you don't focus on strength, it's gonna be harder. And beyond the word, the world of work, there is kind of a compelling reason as well for us to understand and appreciate what makes us unique and what makes us our best version of ourselves. If you work on your strength, that improves a lot your confidence. It gives you direction and hope. And someone said they're kind. Working on your strengths makes you kinder towards yourself and towards others as well, because you recognize the best in yourself and in others. The thing is, most people don't really work on their strengths. We kind of think that our strengths are normal. And Gallup has surveyed about 10 million people in the past decade. That was worldwide. And basically asking them to rate their level of agreement with a simple statement. The statement was, at work, I have the opportunity to do what I do best every day. How many guys do you think, out of 3 people, how many people actually strongly agrees with that statement worldwide? At work, I have the opportunity to do what I do best every day. Out of 3, how many people? 1. That's right. 0. David. Oh, that would be even more sad. No, there is only 1 person out of 3 that strongly agrees that at work they have the opportunity to do what they do best every day. So moving on from there, I'd like to speak about success. We discussed rapidly about success. If we have a brief discussion about what makes people truly successful, if I ask you about talent or about strength, usually we think about people in sports, maybe like Michael Jordan is successful and has a lot of strength, or maybe we'll think about J.K. Rowling, who is maybe able to connect with her audience and build a whole world around her imagination. But what makes people really successful? When we look at that, what I want us to understand today is that you can sharpen areas of excellence in order to succeed in your personal and professional life. So if I ask you guys to think about one person that is rather famous, I would say, for the purpose of that exercise, so that we're all aligned with the same names, because maybe you think that your uncle is a very successful person, and that's probably very true. But for us to speak the same language, if you think of highly successful people, first of all, who do you think of? What is the person you think of? So for instance, for me, I'll say Michael Jordan. And then second question, what characteristics made this person successful according to you? So for me, Michael Jordan, I think he is extremely hardworking. Who do you think is extremely successful, and what made that person successful according to you? What do you think? Who do you have in mind? Jacinta Ardern, compassionate, determined, and authentic. LeBron James, Yes. Abdullahi, would you like to say what made LeBron James successful? What contributed? What factors contributed to his success? He's a hard worker. Absolutely. Barack Obama, value-driven. Yes, Priyal, absolutely. That's an important one. Elon Musk, Bill, yes. Bill, can you precise what makes Elon Musk successful? What are the characteristics in Elon Musk that makes him successful? Tom Brady, determination, great habits, being in the right situation, absolutely. Tony Robbins, he's generous, he's hardworking. Yes, Chris, and he has a clear purpose. Yes. So yes, absolutely. We see talents in world-class sports stars. We had a couple of American football players, but that goes beyond sheer athleticism. People maybe have a competitive drive to do the best, but they also have an ability maybe to see their own game in slow motion. Dean's opera, she rose against many odds. I would dig a bit, Dean, I would dig a bit deeper. What is that determination, or is that, what is behind this rose against many odds? Yes, Elon Musk is hardworking, he has a super imagination, he has a genius mindset. All right, that's great characteristics. So do you guys think, so we've seen a lot of great, successful people. Now, what I want to challenge you with is, okay, we're looking at those people, but do you guys think those people are well-rounded? Meaning, do you think those guys can achieve anything that they want? Probably not. If you ask Oprah to maybe play like LeBron James, that's probably not going to work. What those guys do is they focus on what they're good at and they become outstanding. So J.K. Rowling is not going to become Barack Obama, or Barack Obama is never going to become J.K. Rowling. So these successful people are sharpening their natural talents. So if you think about doing that in a team with many different individuals, what we want is, we don't want one individual to be perfect and to have all components and be able to do everything. What we want is, we want a team that has a lot of people specialized and extremely good at their one thing that they are doing. Often we think the other way around. We think that, oh, I am an individual contributor, I need to have all those skills. That's not true. And that's also hardly possible. So if we look at strength in a corporate outset, if we want to become our best selves, we really first need to understand, what is it that we're good at? What is it that makes us truly unique? Once we've done that, we can start working on those strengths. It doesn't mean we ignore our weaknesses again, but what we really do is we shift our way, we shift our focus from, oh, I am not doing this well enough, to what is it I'm doing that I'm pretty good at, and how can I expand this? People who learn to use their strength every day have a almost 8% greater productivity and an almost 9% greater profitability for teams. So this is valid at an individual level and at a group or at a team level. There is a study that Gallup has done with about 2,000 cells. What it showed is that with just one strength intervention, those numbers are coming from this study, basically, from just one strength intervention. These are the results that came out. What I believe is that there is a strong connection between who people are and what they do best, between what people do best and how they feel. And then there is a strong connection between how people feel and how they perform. So that actually makes the difference in those studies. Now, how can you figure out what your strengths are? That's usually when there are ways for you to discover that without taking the Clifton Strength assessment. And there are even like ways online where you can take free assessments. I work with the Clifton Strength because I feel this is what is the most efficient, is simply giving you the list of your strength from 1 to 34. Here is a couple of examples of strengths that you would find in the Clifton Strength, and that helps us build the same kind of language around talent. So if you have achiever, for instance, in your top 5, which is the first one in the executing domain in purple that you see here, that probably means that you're often very busy. You like to be productive. You're always striving to do a lot. Maybe you have lists of things to do every day, and you strive to beat yourself, basically. So you're never satisfied with whatever mountains you achieve to do. If you're not that, then probably what I just said doesn't resonate with you. If you are an achiever, then working on that strength is great for you to become even better at it and to know how to manage that strength best without it managing you. If you're not an achiever, it's good to realize that and to figure out, okay, how is it that I get things done? It's not with that sense of like drive, but there is something else then that pushes you to get things done. And so it's interesting to see in your results where you're placing yourself and how you interpret this yourself. I think we're arriving at around time. So I'm just going to finish with a few notes. If you want more information about strength development, strength studies, I usually recommend one of those 4 books. To start, if strength is something that is new to you, I would suggest the first one, The Strength Quest. That book is basically a bit of an introduction that goes deeper than what we just saw right now, but it's an introduction to what strengths are, what strength allow you to do, and how to use them. And then you have other of those books, depending on whether you're in management, in leadership, or if you're looking in well-being around strength. Also, before we move on to the questions, if you like this first taste of strength, if you're based in Shanghai, I know some of you are not in Shanghai, but I'm organizing next week a 3-hour workshop around strength. What we do is we have every participant take the Clifton Strength. And so we can start actually talking about, oh, what are your strengths and what does that mean for you, for your work, for your role? And then how can we enhance that? How can we help you become a bigger and better version of yourself with those strengths? So the early birds are until tomorrow, I think. No, Wednesday. So if you're in Shanghai and you want to join, then I'd be happy to have you take the Clifton Strength and then come and debrief. If you're not in Shanghai and you want to connect, if you have my contacts, then what we do is usually working with strength is we recognize your strength, what they are, then we appreciate them for what they help you do, and then we develop them. So depending on your goals around strength, if you want and if you're interested, we can discuss about coaching together. And I'll leave you with a little quote from Don Clifton, so the founder of the Clifton Strength Assessment, who's a psychologist from the early 20th century. And he resumes basically what I tried to convey this morning is what will happen when we think about what is right with people rather than fixating on what is wrong with them. I'm not sure if that quote really resonates with all of you, but it did resonate with me. I did fixate a lot on what's wrong with people, specifically in a corporate environment. Working on strength helped me really see what's truly unique and truly contributes to a team, a project.